Good, great. Okay, so hi again, everyone. I'm very happy to start our first online marathon here at ELEKS. My name is Katya. I have more than 8 years in product design, and my current focus is our UK area. I'm a design manager at ELEKS UK, and I'm currently designing for the legal industry mainly. So today I'd like to talk about pivoting. Pivoting hasn't changing the business strategy or designing an entire new experience for your product or service. The reason why I selected this topic is because a lot of our customers are approaching us now with they would like us to guide them through the current situation, and that's why I have put together some areas that I'd like to outline in the current circumstances where we're all hit by the crisis and we have a severe lack of time and resources. So I think these 4 areas would be most critical, most important for us all to focus on. First of all, research. Definitely, you cannot deliver a smooth experience without proper research. But in the current situation, traditional research methods can be quite lengthy. So I would recommend to accelerate your research and use the quicker methods. For example, you could set up user chat groups. We did it previously on many projects where we set up, for example, a Slack group. And this is a very cheap and fast way to collect a lot of feedback at once. You could also talk to your frontline employees because they're the ones who interact with your customers on a daily basis. So if you could get a weekly briefing from them about the feedback they have collected, this could also be a precious source of knowledge. Another good way is to actually embed feedback capabilities into your product itself. For example, after each checkout flow, you could have like a small pulse survey, and then you can always follow up on those who are not satisfied with the experience. All in all, it's no matter quick or long, you need to do customer research because great customer experience would be key now in this situation where lots of people are competing in the digital space. The next area is when, let's say, you have already collected feedback and then you're moving into define phase. So you're actually trying to define which functionality needs to go into your product or service. And in this situation, the framework I'd like to mention is a jobs to be done framework. And here I'm very curious if any of you are using it. So it would be great if you could also put a plus if you are using jobs to be done in your daily work. And then I can see later. Yeah, I can see already that lots of people are using it. Great. So the difference from a traditional user story is that the user story is very practical and detailed. So it's great when you already moving very close towards development. But if you want to really innovate and kind of broaden your idea space, a job story is much better because it shifts focus to the context and to the motivation of the people. So as you know, in this crisis, lots of people actually change their priorities. And the multiple researches show that people started prioritizing their health, their safety, and support for other people, like their close ones and people in general. So if you focus on just these areas, at least the most general ones, you already have a wide space for ideation. So let's say we are designing an experience for a delivery service, and the job story could sound like, when I order takeout food in lockdown, which is the context, I want to make a donation so I can support those who need it. These could bring several ideas. Maybe they want to tip the courier, or maybe they want to help your business particularly, or maybe they even want to help the healthcare worker. So as you can see, this framework is a more of a higher level than the user story. And then moving on to the next area, which is mapping your service. I think this one is most important at the moment, because first of all, because mapping your service helps you to ensure there are no gaps in your experience, which means that your customers won't just drop off unexpectedly for the reason you don't know. And then also mapping your service helps you to validate your functionality, whether you need to take something into development or not. A recent example is a very good illustration of that. This is our actual client, so I will omit a lot of details, but just to give you an illustration of the customer journey mapping, this could be great. So the company owns physical gyms network, and they have approached us discussing their online capabilities. Let's say they have ideas, already lots of ideas in place. So the stakeholders came up with a load of options. So how do they go about that? They have very limited time, let's say a couple of months. So which of those should they take first, and which of those they should postpone or maybe omit in general? This is why customer journey mapping tool is very helpful. So if we look at a high-level customer journey for an online fitness experience, this could comprise of 5 major steps. At first, the customer, the gym goer, is getting aware of the situation. So they're trying to research their options. They're trying to understand what to do with their membership while the gym is closed. Then they kind of come down and they decide they will work out at home. The next step would be the actual workout. And then the next steps would be keeping up and trying to improve this progress. So this is a very high level journey. But if we drill down, if we zoom in and we look at each step in more detail, this already gives us a lot of food for thought. So first of all, jobs to be done can be mapped very well into the customer journey. At the first awareness step, it could sound like, when my gym is closed, I want to learn about my options so I can stay fit during lockdown. So this already gives us an idea of their motivation. And then if we drill down into the pain points, we can see that they are afraid to gain weight. They are generally anxious, uncertain, and disappointed. So let's see what happens at the next step. Here we can see that the pain points are lack of equipment, limited shipping options, and uncertainty about this entire setup because they haven't done it before. So this already sounds like not just one step, but like several themes, which means we can break it down even further. So then the second step would be actually getting equipment. And in this way, we fill in this gap. And at this step, the pain points could be even slightly different. And this way, we understand that not only we need to deliver this equipment, we only need to ensure that it's safe, disinfected, they can pay in a contactless way, and then they can get it as fast as possible so they don't wait. And then when they're setting up, we provide even more empathy for the context. So we understand that we need to engage our personal trainer. So they explain how to set the equipment in the best way. And then if we add the next layer, we can turn the customer journey into let's say a very primitive service blueprint. So here is the line of visibility. All above it are the things and channels that your customers are interacting with. And below this line are actually modules which enable them to interact with these ones. And as we can see here, we will need, for this step to happen, we will need to prepare the branded equipment. We will need to have courier service in place. Maybe we can meet some of their needs, such as uncomfortable setup with custom to TVs and help from the personal trainer. So as you can see, this entire mapping gives us a glance of how to prioritize the functionality we had. And if we put it into a spreadsheet, we can use a very simple formula here for prioritization. which is a small diversion from the original IDO's desirability, viability, feasibility. In this formula we will use efforts. Effort is something that your development team can help you with. So this is the level of efforts and the estimates for the work itself. Viability is actually how valuable each feature is for your business. So if we take an example of reward points, this is quite viable. Oh, sorry, because they can be monetized well, and they keep the customers engaged. So this has quite a high viability. Then desirability, we can obtain by looking at the customer feedback, customer pain points, and how these features are addressing these pain points. So for the most, let's say, widespread pain points, we can use a multiplier of 2, which already shows us that some of these features are more desirable than others. And then if we use the formula and just calculate the return of investment for each feature, we can see that some of this functionality is pretty good candidates for the first release. So let's say daily support by personal trainer is low in effort and high in desirability. At the same time, delivery of advanced gear kits is not quite viable in the long run. At the same time, it's also high in effort. So if we revise this list later on, we can see that it doesn't look that uniform as before. And this could be a good guidance for later tweaking and later road mapping of this entire functionality. So lastly, how do we make time for all these activities? If we remember the lack of time we all have now, we need some method to kind of do things in parallel. And the method that we often use is called design spike, which is actually a design sprint. And you can allocate a dedicated team to that. So for example, you can take part of your development team, designers and product owners, to work independently from the rest. So the development will go smoothly, and then there will be like a diversion during which you can perform all these experiments, such as ideation, then validating these ideas, and then prioritizing them. So as I said, all these areas, research, define, map, and implement, they are actually quite similar to the traditional methods such as design thinking, Agile, and Lean, which are tried and proven. This means that even though the situation is new, the methods are already there. So this gives us a lot of optimism. And this is actually good news that we can come out of this crisis, and this provides a lot of opportunities for us as specialists and for you as businesses. So this is pretty much what I wanted to say. And if you have any questions, please raise your hand, or we can follow up later.